And a happy Friday morning to you. We've almost made it to the weekend. Oh, yeah. Dave in the house. Rob not going to make it. He's got some appointments today. Got to travel a little bit, getting ready for that. Yeah, I'll pray for him in the travel. I have an engineering event to go to. I'm not an engineer, but I hang out with engineers sometimes. In fact, I partake of the event sometimes. I try to learn from them as they are much more technically proficient than I am, much more. But I hang in there. I learn from their greatness. Southern Fried Podcast. And Dave in the AM here, a.k.a. the cornbread man. Get up, pray up, coffee up. I have coffee. Prayed. I've gotten up. So I'm accomplishing, I think, most of that or all of it. I'm still trying to wake up. I took a tumble on Wednesday. I'm a little bit better today. It's never good to fall. Never good to fall. But we're here. And we hope that you are well. God bless to all the fellow Rumble podcasters and creators, content creators. Appreciate their friendship. And all of the listeners, followers, who sometimes are fans and friends of all of them or many of them. I follow many too. I don't always get to watch. But a shout out to Sergeant Wilkie. I did watch his gaming yesterday while I was setting up shows and stuff. Listened to it, looked at it. They're funny. He's a good dude. Military guys doing military things, and I enjoyed watching as they were blowing stuff up, looking for clues. I used to game a lot, but I got out of it. I didn't have time for it, to be honest. And I don't know why my picture... I lost my connection, I guess. We'll see if we can get it back up there. There she comes. There she blows. The coffee is good. It's not very cold. In fact, the weather is going to be outstanding. Absolutely outstanding for the next, oh my goodness, week to 10 days. I think we're getting there. Feels like almost like it's springtime, although we're headed towards winter. Few things we want to mention today. Birthdays, we always do or try to do. Travis Barker, drummer, not really a fan, but it is his birthday. We'll give him that. 50 years old today. I'm not a fan of King Charles of England either. I don't really care for him. I don't like his globalism. He likes to talk down that hypocritical nose of his and tell the world how they should do things. That's a subject for another day. 77 today. It is his birthday, though. And the Royals. What a mess that whole thing is. But anyway, if it's your birthday today, let me see if there's any more that I want to mention. But if it's your birthday today, we say happy birthday. Joseph McCarthy. What a name from the past. We going after communists. They didn't like him. Maybe he should have worked a little longer. It's his birthday today. That's still brought up in things. I don't think there's anybody else that I want to mention today on birthdays. Well, Francisco Lindor, baseball player, 31, and Devonta Smith from the Alabama, 26 today. Boy, he's got it by. He's just doing great. He's an amazing player, and I will recognize that no matter what I'm a fan of. I do like great players. I love to watch their abilities and things. Well, it's always national something. In fact, there's so many national things goes on. They have to have more than one national on a day. And I was looking, and there is some interesting ones today. National Seatbelt Day. I was talking to the grandkids as we were going to school, and that's one of those things I'm trying to teach them. Make sure you get the seatbelt on. I just drive them to school. And we were talking about that the other day. They say, one of them said, well, Papa, you don't even think about it. You just do it. You put on your seatbelt as soon as you get in. I said, well, that's called a habit. I said, which obviously you do not have. Let me plug up something before my one thing goes dead here. Pardon me for a second. There we go. I said, that's a habit. Hopefully it's a habit you'll get. But, I was telling them, used to be in the state of Georgia that you did not have to wear a seatbelt if you were in a truck. Now, I still did. But there was a very powerful senator at the time who was able to hold on to that. They called them farm trucks. All trucks were farm trucks. They didn't have to wear a seatbelt. Once he retired and moved on and from the scene, they changed that law very quickly. But he carried so much weight in the state, they weren't going to mess with that. But yeah, seatbelts. And I told him, I wear them. I wear the seatbelt for two main reasons. And so one is I don't want to get a ticket. Who wants a ticket? Have to be pulled over and take all the time with that. Two is I don't want my face to hit the windshield. So I was just trying to make a point to him that, you can be launched. And some people don't like to wear them, and they won't wear them. It's freedom. You want to do. If you want to get the ticket, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. But I do wear them. Yeah, they get annoying sometimes. But I've seen people launched out of cars, and I would rather be strapped in. It's also National Family Pajama Day. I didn't realize this was a thing, that the whole family goes pajama day. Like, does that mean you all go wherever you're going in pajamas, or it's on a Friday? Does everybody go off in the same colored pajamas? Because the picture shows a family and all the mom and dad and the two kids, two daughters, they have the same pajamas on, same color, same everything. And I just, and t-shirt, they got white t-shirts on. And I'm wondering, do they all go out like that? School, work. I know kids do it. Some adults do it now. They go to Walmart. It's every day. It's National Pajama Day. Every day. But I was just wondering, do they wear the whole family, the whole family truckster? Do they go out and they take the family photo, everybody wearing the same pajamas and go in their day? Is that acceptable at work? National Pajama Day? Or do you just do it in the mornings and then change and depart? I don't know. Interesting, though. I found that interesting. It's also two things that I don't like, Dave. I can deal with the pajamas. Not that I'm going to do it. I'm not going to say I haven't wore some up to the store to get something from a convenience store, not feeling well or something, just lounging. I've done it. But I'm not going to work or I'm not going to do it. It's National Spicy Guacamole Day. Well, I don't even like guacamole. I certainly don't like spicy guacamole day. But if that's you today, it's your day. It is the National Spicy Guacamole Day. And closely related to that, it's National Pickle Day. National Pickle Day. Do you like pickles? I don't like them. I know, I'm a picky guy. I don't care for them. But it's National Pickle Day. So you could get you a pickle, have your guacamole to dip it in while wearing your pajamas and get in the car and put your seatbelt on, and you could knock it out of the park on all these on the same day. And even though I will be on in the morning, I was going to see for tomorrow, because every day has them, every day. And since we will be on the air, maybe I'll save that. Maybe I'll save that. We'll talk about that on me and Paul with the Saturday, Southern Fried Saturday AM show. But I thought that was interesting, especially the National Family Pajama Day. My granddaughter, I think and she didn't even realize it. I don't think, but she said, tomorrow I'm wearing pajamas. I'm going to be comfortable on my Friday at school. But they do have days built in, but she's in middle school. I don't know that they actually do that for the middle school, but watch the drop-off line, and she doesn't do that very often. But usually you'll see some kids are doing that every day. They just, they just get out of bed and go. At the elementary school, all the teachers do it. They get into it for the kids. I was thinking, maybe I might not stick in the mud, but as they say, but I don't think I'd be able to be wearing pajamas down at the old schoolhouse. I don't think so. But hey, knock yourself out with it and have fun. A couple other news and notes. In this day in history, a couple of interesting things happened on this day in history. In Don Shula. Don Shula became the coach with the most wins in NFL history on this day in 1993. I don't think that's been broken yet. It will be broken. I'm sure of it. These coaches are getting a lot of wins. Andy Reid or somebody. I haven't checked that, but he at that time in 1993 was the coach with the most wins. Amazing career, perfect season. What was that 1973, I believe, 72, 73, 71. I can't remember. It's one of those years. Anyway, the perfect season. All the still living Dolphins players, they every year they root for somebody to lose or everybody to lose at least one game so that they can hang on to the title. Of course, this is a different time and season length was different, but hey, nobody's ever done it but them. Give them credit. Larry Zonka, what a battering ram he was. Great players on that team. Jake Scott, wasn't he the defensive player? And this amazing team, able to do it with two different quarterbacks through injury and stuff. Pretty amazing stuff. By the way, he had a book out once. I had it. It was it's one of those kind of a leadership book, and it was a good book. It was about as a leader of men, the perfect season, and he's used in some of that stuff. He was well spoken, and I did enjoy the book. It wasn't that big. You could have read it in an afternoon, but I remember getting one of those around the time I was entering leadership, and those are nice. They kind of help you to think forward thinking like that. But also on this day in 1960, that was before my time, but 1960, Ray Charles, the great Ray Charles, the single for Georgia on My Mind. Here we are in the great state of Georgia. And it is a great state. We just got some knuckleheads that are leading it sometimes. But Georgia on My Mind reached number one. And there's nobody can sing that song like Ray Charles. I don't care. No disrespect to anybody else out there. Nobody can sing that like the great man himself, Ray Charles. And it's perfect. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. And I think one of those things, when you think about it, and with all of the racial, and it wasn't everybody, but it was a lot of people that did things in the southern states, and it was great divisions and things that shouldn't have been happening. And we mostly have overcame all that in the whole country. There's racism everywhere in the world, but different bathrooms, all that stupidity. Here he is making a song like that. Loved his state and was a unifier, bringing people together with the gift of music. Well done, sir. Well done. And instead of writing bitter songs, he made a classic, something that go down, will always be a part of Georgia. And I think that's amazing that he was he could have been bitter and wrote something with bitter lyrics. He loved Georgia, he loved the state, and was able to put together a classic. Got recognized for that many times, and I just think that's awesome. And you have other people that done the same, was able to do things like that, and put, able to overcome, which Dr. King, I know some people don't like Dr. King and they think it was this or that. That's fine. But the messaging, and many people do love him, just to be fair on that, you just get it from both sides on that. But so when I mention something, I'll always get people dropping in the chat or something and say, oh, he did this or he did that or she did this or she did that. Maybe, but it's a symbol and it's a national symbol, and many, but loved by millions. And the messaging of coming together and was certainly something that the nation needed to hear through peace and not violence. And violence never solves anything. Sometimes we have to go to war as a nation, but I think we should stay away from it as often as we can and stay out of the business of war in the world. And I like that about the president. I'd like to see him get us out of a couple of things out there right now, but he has definitely brought peace. We're not, and through strength and letting people know, putting aircraft carriers like in the Caribbean and telling Venezuela, putting pressure on them to, force a leadership change, that what you're doing is not working and it's going to cause you some trouble. And hopefully that won't have to happen. But he has shown with the hit on Iran that he's willing to, if needed, to hit capabilities, not, really per se hurt people or anything. You're not talking about carpet bombing and all that. But, and I think that's the way you got to do it. We are looked to as that, with being a great country comes the requirement of great things. And sometimes you have to be what you have to be because nobody else is going to do it. And I get that, although I don't like it. I think you have to just show the strength, stay very strong militarily. And, I think we need to build some more aircraft carriers. It's very expensive. I get it, but we have 11, and honestly, it's not enough. And there's a great article about this this week. And the moving of an aircraft carrier group to the Caribbean is a big deal because the military always wants a presence around the world. There are those hot spots that we keep aircraft carriers, sometimes move 2 groups into. That's a huge group of surface ships, submarines, and the whole deal with the fighter jet capability bombers and all that. You always got to have one of them near the Middle East. You always have to have that. They like to have one, in the Pacific. Certainly want to keep one within reach of China, just making sure for Taiwan's sake. And, so you start putting these in different places around the world. And some of them, while the others are out, are in being, people are being libertied, repairs are going on, training's going on. So it sounds like a lot, but 11 is not that many, even though we probably lead the world. I don't know. I think we still do. I'm not sure on that. I think we still do. But honestly, we should probably build a few more. And then at some point, you have to cycle out some older ones. So I would think that the shipbuilding that the president's talking about, I hope that he will add in at least 3 more carriers. I just think it would be good to have. That's amazing reach that we have. Not many countries have them. Some do. I don't think they have our numbers and ability, but we need to stay ahead on that. And we need to be next generation always on that. So I would like to see that myself, especially when ugly things are flying up potentially. We got hotspots that we're involved with, potential hotspots around the world. So we have to it just keeps people honest. It's like, it's like, I used to take my kids to the ball game, You always teach your kids to handle things. And hopefully, but they're still kids and they're still, working things out. Sometimes there's bigger bullies. There's bullies, bigger kids, bigger bullies. Not that they're bullies, but there's big bullies. And it's good for them, the bully, to be able to look around and see you. And you lock eyes and you go, And because they don't know you're there. That's the way we are with the aircraft carrier groups. It's like somebody wants to show up and show out, act a fool, as they say down here in the South. They look over and they go, dang Americans, they've got an aircraft carrier group, they could be here in a day or less than a day. It just keeps honesty there. And every once in a while we have to fly some hits on the Houthis. But I heard that they have signaled peace again. They're tired of missiles shooting missiles at everybody or certain people, Israel, whoever, are shipping. They've decided to be peaceful again. They'll do it again. We'll end up having to, drop a few bombs on them. It's just people like that you have to do that with. They're stupid. They're evil, and that's all they know. It's just, and they think they're a little too big for their britches. Hello, Hamas. And they sometimes you just got to go and you got to do it. And I don't like what happened in all of Gaza. I'm just saying. But Hamas deserves everything they get, everything and more. Butchers and killers. I don't care who else is. They certainly are. They fit the bill. Occasionally, you got to run. Remember when Libya running that mouth? Ronald Reagan, President Reagan. He put some missiles right there in the palace. Took out one of the kids. Flew sorties over the really low over the city. He backed that dude down the hole for 30 years. Sometimes you got to do that. We have to have that capability. And we need to have a capability that's out there to make the Chinese think 20 times before they ever make any kind of move. And during the Biden administration, they were showing out a whole lot. That has slowed down. Why? Because you got a guy in office that says, you know what, we're not going to put up with it. And we would hope that kind of thing never happens. We got a guy there that says, we're here and we're ready. And he's showing that capability. And it just keeps things honest. They hate our guts, absolutely. And they made some deals. They like making money, just like anybody. But they'll make their little threats. They'll have parades about taking over Taiwan. They'll still run military ops. You're not going to stop them from doing that. But they ain't been busting over the airspace as much as they were and stuff. It backs them off. We probably should have about 15 carrier groups, to be honest. Is it expensive? Dang right. Is it necessary? I think so. People say America first. I'm all for it. Absolutely. But you have to have capabilities, because if something's going to flare up, you do want to fight it way away from your shore. Don't want to wait till them get there. Now, I'm not talking about, I think we ought to be out of Ukraine, but Russia's showing out, and eventually Europe's going to have to do something. And it's a very real possibility, NATO and the whole deal. But I don't like it working through Ukraine. Heck with them. The people I love, nothing against them, but their government, I don't care for them. It's a big mess over there. But what Russia's doing is it's unconscionable. It's wrong, and they either they're going to have to be checked very, very strongly. Continue to put pressure on them, and it is a very real possibility that military action may be required. At some point, you have to stop the bully, and that's ugly business because you're talking about a nuclear superpower. But at some point, you got to figure they don't want to die. They might want power and money. They don't want to die. And at some point, we would hope it doesn't reach that in the world. But at some point, you have to. You can't have all them little countries being overran. And the world has to stand up. And it shouldn't just be us. It should be the world. The world. There's 190 nations or 190 plus, whatever it is. I know it's at least 190. And there's quite a few of them that's big enough to team up, and that's the world. We're not counting every little country. They could join in the parade of countries. Sure, we'll give them a spot, but it's going to be the biggest of the biggest, and minus China, minus one other. They're going to stand up and say enough's enough. And there might be some missiles hitting in Moscow. Take this. You respond, it's over. I would hate it wouldn't get there, but you just can't have. It's like Germany, Nazi Germany. You can't have that. But anyway, I think there should be a few more built. And we should really look to. There's been plans out there for a long time to take these to an even higher level of because they're slow. They're a target, but they have had plans out there for a long time on how to get these a little more under the ocean. You don't see as much. The profile is not as much. I've seen those plans a long time ago, decades ago. And so they probably do need to, next generation aircraft carrier look right, quite a bit different. You still have the ability, but most of the ship is underwater. Very low profile. Very low. So the water, you have to have you got to circle it with all the attack subs and whatever else to keep your enemy away and hope they don't get through. And, you got them out for hundreds of miles, working the sonar and anything incoming, you're ready to hit it. But I love that we have that ability. And so to move, my original intent on that was you move that to the Caribbean, and that's something that does not normally happen. It's a rarity. Been a long time, been decades. But that's the messaging that's going on right now. Absolutely. And I support that because, at some point you just got to rattle the sabers a little bit and let people know, hey, we're not going to put up with it. What do you think you're doing? We've had enough. But yeah. All right. Let's see here. How about we talk about coffee? It's about midway through the program. SFP. I just made an order yesterday, and I decided to because I know we're going to keep doing it. I've got on a schedule. Now this is cool. And you don't have to worry about remembering to order. Now I did it on the pods because I drink them in the studio as well as my wife likes them in the house. And so we just decided I ordered some I think it was breakfast blend or house blend. It was one of those. We have others than here, and I'm going to start highlighting some of the different blends. But I think I did house blend because we both like it so much. I was going to try a new one, but she likes that a lot. And I think it's the house blend that I got the pods in. And so just use the QR code. Hey, amazing. And, I tested all this. I normally don't use, when you go there, it'll pop up. It'll give you another 5% off. I saved $2.10 on my order doing that. And usually I'll just do it because I'm just paying back into the podcast. But I wanted to test it. I never had used it. Put your email in, you get a discount there. And of course, if you're in the continental United States, the shipping is free. It's all built in. There's a cost there. The Southern Fried is paying your shipping. We included that in the cost. So the margins are small. We're not making a lot of money, but we're making something. And we wanted coffee out there, and it puts a little bit to help along with the expenses of the podcast. And we love this. Now you get up into some bigger things, our margin goes up, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a capitalism, baby. But we made it where anybody could afford this. And so for less than $40, all the shipping was paid for. I got my discount. I want to think I spent $39. I got two different kinds, but they'll be here in five to 6 days, somewhere in there. They don't put your order out until it's off of fresh. They've made it fresh. And it comes to my door. And so I just went and put on the maintenance schedule. So what would that be? It was yesterday, 13th of every month, the order will go in for the pods. And I don't remember what that cost was because it was two different costs because the pods were a little bit different. But that will go in. The shipping's included. And I told my wife, and she just, absolutely. And because we had talked about it, and I just said, hey, I just went ahead and did that. So, because, we run out. You get busy, you don't think about ordering, and then boom, you're like, this will just show up. And so it's great for us, and it's great for you. I love that. On my mailbox behind me, you'll see that Mammoth Nation Patriot. I love Mammoth Nation. And if you use that QR code and go there, you can become a monthly member for as little as $5 a month. This gives you access to all kinds of companies. This is another one I've got to start highlighting some of those companies again and the products that they offer. You'll get great discounts. You will earn back in savings the $5 a month very quickly in your first order, matter of fact. I'm a lifetime member. I had an opportunity to do it. That's not a bragging. I'm not. The only other thing I'm a lifetime member of is my salvation. That's eternal. But lifetime membership, as long as there's a Mammoth Nation and a me, I'm a member. And I don't see them going anywhere, and I'll stay around here as long as I can. And Mammoth Nation are amazing. I love those folks. Become a supporter. I have ordered many things from the companies, and there's a bunch of companies, not that I've ordered from every company, but it's everything you could think of. And they're adding more companies all the time. These are all America First companies based right here in the United States, highlighting the good old USA products made here. And they all have the same agenda, which is to support good morals and values and stand on the Constitution and all that. So you can't beat them. I love W, and I'm going to make an order from them this week as well. I've been talking about it. Promo code Southern Fried. Yeah, I'll use my own promo code Southern Fried. And I want to get a new flavor in, and I'm going to do that this week. No sugar, no crashes, no shakes, no jitters, just great flavor, and they're awesome. Paywall is new for us. If you run a small business like I do, use that promo code Cornbread, and they'll help take care of the the stuff that you really don't want to have to fool with. There's a lot of things you do. We're not banks, and these are companies that will help you. We have to work through companies. We got involved with them after we had set up our coffee store and our Shopify. So we've got to work through that. We're going to switch things over to Payworld, and they reached out to us and use that QR code. You can do that as well. Amazing company. Don't forget a couple of other things, and we certainly don't want to forget the Hodge twins. One of our newest affiliates, and it's not the newest. We have a new one. I've got to get the promo or the card up for it. Fruit Hero. Go ahead and name. We're working on a couple of details with that, but the Hodge twins are amazing. It's the promo code is cornbread, but you can use the QR code and go right to it. So you can't beat that. And a couple other things, of course, Patriot Mobile is huge for us always. All my phones are on Patriot Mobile. Also, promo code Cornbread, America-based. They love the Lord. They'll tell you that, and everything's America-based. Podbean is our MP3 partner, and you can earn with that address there. Copy that. Become a podcaster. You'll save $14. That's how much it costs a month. You'll save that. You can try it for a month. You don't like it, you stop. I think if you try it, you're going to like it. And you don't have to have your face on the video, like the video. you could stay. Hey, for National Pajama Day, you could stay in your pajamas. You could do that. So there's those things. We have our store as well. Buy Me a Coffee, which is right up above me here. And I've been working this one a lot, adding some things in. Our membership has grown a little bit. And on Podbean, we actually have a fan club. You can join there. There's all kind of ways to support us, and we appreciate all that do, and just keeps us moving along. Fruit Hero will be coming along. This is a company from Australia, down under, and they help extend the life of your fruits and vegetables. That's always a good thing, up to 3 months, and that's neat. It's always, I meant to eat that, now it's bad. This will help you with that. And there's some very affordable options there. With Fruit Hero. I'm working on getting the samples in. I was going to order that. It allows us to get a bigger percentage, but we were working out the shipping. It was supposed to give me free shipping. It didn't. I've reached out to them to see if they got that corrected online so I can go back and make the order. I'm going to make an order and go ahead and start that process. We use the goods and services that are shown here and support those companies as well. Don't forget our good friends at Southern Shadows, and we're going to be doing a tour with them soon. New business in Chickamauga. Great folks. If you're in the local area, go give them some business. Great folks. Awesome. Three Ravens Publishing, threeravenspublishing.com. Order you a good book. I'm reading their It Came From a Trailer Park series right now, and I love it. Absolutely love the books. And then if you're in the Decatur, Tennessee area, stop in Angie's Decatur Diner. She's amazing, and we've been showing her stuff as well. And we always want to support, those small businesses. That's the heartbeat of America. It really is. And there is Miss Angie, and she's always got that big smile on. You're home cooking away from home. That's true. In Decatur, Tennessee, little town, hamlet, village of Decatur. And I love it. I love small town. Not against big cities, but honestly, big cities they're in a lot of trouble nowadays. There's not much, you can't, big cities are big cities. Some people love the city. They like everything to be close. But the problem is the big cities have issues. Crime levels are higher. Taxes are higher. Political leaders, mostly very liberal. And so support small town America. We do that with our Main Street USA. That's all what Wolf Nation is about. We're really pushing the small town, highlighting all those things in small town, outdoor adventure. You're going to be seeing a lot about this side project. Another wing of the podcast. Me and Paul are working on that side of town and just trying to encapsulate all those things. It'll include Appalachian Trail, hiking, the adventures, whatever those adventures are. Scavenger hunts. I want to get involved with that with Southern Shadows as well. Those are fun. But it'll be new merch items and stuff along with that. We're developing some of that stuff now. Just things we love, things we love, and that's what America's all about: doing the thing you love, and not having anybody tell you how to do it, when to do it, where to do it. Have it. It's that adventurous spirit within all of us, and taking advantage of it, and being able to do what you want to do. That's the American dream: to build something, to have something, to be what you want to be, without somebody stopping you and going, "Hey, what are you doing? Where do you think you're going?" Oh, Anthony, I wish there was a middle ground. I want something that is not as big as a big city, but not as small as small town. And I get it, man. Some people just like to be close. Some people like to be out in the deep wood all the time. I'm not going to say I could live there. That's not really my gig, because I was raised a suburbanite, but it was small town. But and I'm still within just minutes of being in a bigger city. Not the biggest. It's not in not in Miami, not in Atlanta, not in Chicago, nothing like that. But it is a pretty good sized city across the state line, and I can be there. We still have crime that comes out of there and comes to our little town, but I kind of get that. And if you go back and look at the world, even how they really push for population centers and stuff, there's just things about it that are. They thought, build the factories close, have all the people there, crunch them in, but that brought a lot of problems in itself. And what's really made me mad is that a lot of things are trying to get into small town America and change that, stop that. But anyway, whatever that size is, you want to have a community that feels like a community, not where nobody the Cheers motto, where everybody knows your name. Well, not really, but it feels like that. It feels like you go in, people are friendly, they say hello, how you doing, it's just high school football. You got plenty of room to park. You're not in these little bitty small parking spots, if there is parking, or having to pay for parking, or you can't find parking. I like a town where I can pull up and park somewhere. I don't have to be out in the North Woods. That's great for people who want to do that. And I love that adventurous spirit. We're going to cover that. The Appalachian Trail, getting off in these other areas in the great Northwest, and the Deepwood up in the mountains. I'm all for it. Desert people. People like to go in the desert and be way away. Death Valley. God bless you. I love that. It's not for me. But I don't want to be right in the middle of metropolis either. I like to be where I can. It's a small town. This town where I'm in has really gotten too busy, but small town. But drive. And I always hear this argument: we don't never have something in our town. Well, be careful what you wish for. They did that to my town. They kept wanting more and more tax base, more this, more this, more this. They've turned a little nice town into Busyville, and it's frustrating. And there's pros and cons with that. I always liked the idea that I could drive 5 or 10 minutes away, and I'm in a bigger city, and in 10 minutes I can be there. I just wish that there should be a balance. But what causes all this is greedy developers. They don't care. It's all about money to them. And yeah, I got no problem people making money, but that's why you have to have some rules. I mean, you got to have some greenway. You got to, but they have packed communities in this area that I'm at. They've overdeveloped, and they can say they haven't. They have. There's too much traffic on small roads. They can't handle the load, and it's just greed. It's absolute greed. Let me define a small town for me. A small town is a city that has less than 2 traffic lights. Mayberry. Oh, some people say I like the small town that has, no traffic. Oh, I get you. Driving wise, how far are you from Atlanta and Nashville where you live? I'm a little over 2 hours from downtown Nashville from here. It's a little longer, about 132 miles, I think it is. To Atlanta, about an hour and a half, close to 2 hours. I guess about about an hour and a half. I could, if I'm on 75 and trucking south, I could be coming through downtown in about an hour and a half. I think if I don't pull off and stop and all that, um, I could do that. So, but I've made that journey many times now. In saying that I'm a small town, and I have went and explored Atlanta a lot because there was music opportunities, there was record clubs, collectible places, sports places, sports cards. I used to really be into all that, and they offered that, and I would drive down to that, but I didn't want to live there. I did not want to live there. And you're right. It's got everything, yeah, and it is. It's just strip mall after strip mall after strip mall. Go down Buford Highway in Atlanta. What do you got there? Gentrification has been happening all over the country. Here in Florida, the inner city neighborhoods have gotten affected so much because real developers buying up all the built houses. You know, I've watched, you know, the things they do, and one of the things, and this goes back, and it's caused a big stir here, is some government. It's not HUD, but it is definitely a government program, and they put these apartments in rural areas, and it's considered rural where they did it around here, and people got so mad about it because they played some funny business with the rules, and the county commissioner got ran off. He got voted out, and the people were against it because it was on a road that has too much traffic. They wanted the rural aspect. They built it right across from a school, and there has been so many police calls and stuff there. They're nice apartments, but it just brings with it what it brings, and people didn't want that there, and so they run them off. Now it's in now, but they put the county in a position where they were going to be sued, and they probably would have won because many people think that was on purpose. I'm not here to say whether it was or whether it wasn't, but it looked funny business to me, and they knew the people would never go for it, and they weren't. They hated it. Nobody was for that except developers and the county commissioners, obviously, because they, and it's not what, but that was and I forget what they call that, but it was an Obama initiative and they want to break up. They want to break up these rural areas, and they want to make it just look the same all over the place. It's really aggravating. This is what is happening in the Florida Keys. Private equity firms for real estate have bought up all the housing, and the housing market down here has gone so expensive. Yeah, well, and up here it's they have taken over all of the high ground. We'll say, all the high ground. They've taken all that, and now you're paying for the views and all that stuff. And the creme de la creme people get a hold of all that, and they go in and buy all this up from the people who've been living there for generations, and then they just start developing it all up, and it becomes too rich and ritzy for a lot of people. It's happening on the mountain ranges around Chattanooga. Again, it's it's a fine line for me, because I am a capitalist, but I don't like greed. I don't like, it's obvious that, it's just, put as many in a spot as you can. I don't like that. Some have done a better job with that. I'm not big on the gated community crap, anyway, it's a give and take. Watchman said big Mexican flea market in Buford. I used to buy my black walnut lumber from Buford. There, you know what? You can go down Buford Highway. You can find anything. I mean, anything. Every kind of culture, illegal stuff, I'm sure. I mean, you just drive down. It's like driving through the world. It really amazing. I didn't go all the way down it. I would go over there to, I used to like to go to this place called Chicago Sports and Pizzeria, and we'd eat great pizza and stuff and watch football or basketball. It's a sports place right there not far from Lenox Mall. But that area has become so bad. I haven't been down there in years. I don't really go down that way anymore, and I doubt I will much again. My wife said she's not able to travel a whole lot, really, and we're just going to stay close to home. We might go to the mountains, and I'm sure I'll do that with her, but I ain't taking her down the concrete jungle. Um, let's see here. To the point where, in order for workers to come down here and justify living in the Keys, the restaurants and hotels have to have massive incentives or even pay for. Yeah, yeah. It's and they do that. They just put the lockdown on stuff. Rob is not here. And he's got doctor visits and stuff today. He was much behind a little bit. I think he probably overslept a little bit. And so I said, no problem, man. You got to take care of business. Sometimes we do that. And some of these restaurants can't afford to do that because they're all mostly on the Midwest and Northern people on vacation during the winter. Locals really don't spend a ton of money at the restaurants. I can see that. BlackRock tried to buy me out. BlackRock owns about 90% of America, literally. And, they're buying up everything. I mean, and, the Gates of the world, and they're buying up all the land. And it's concerning. I met Ozzy at Gwinnett Mall. How about that? I used to go down to Lenox a lot, man. Ain't no way I'd do it anymore. I don't even know if it's still there. I guess it is. I saw what was happening. We used to just go walk through. We'd stop at there was a music store in there, and I would stop in there, and we would just make it part of the journey while I was in Atlanta. And we'd usually eat. We'd drive up and down Peachtree. There were a couple little places. We used to like to go to the what they called, where you got the cheesesteak factory, maybe something. I don't know, but we would stop in places like that, and yeah, we just made it part of the experience. But man, it got so crazy down there. I said the heck with it. But we used to go down a lot, and there, it is what it is. It is what it is. Florida down here, when it comes to private equity firms for real estate, is dominated by Berkshire Hathaway, owned by Warren Buffett. My company is owned by Berkshire. I'm very familiar with them. They bought us a number of years ago. Back, I forget how many years ago that happened, and so we are one of those companies. Don't lie, you went to Crazy Horses to eat the buffet. I regularly get calls from Celtic Blacksmith. Good morning. I regularly get calls from BlackRock, Vanguard, etc. a few times a week asking me if I'm selling my house, if I have any other properties for sale, if I'm considering selling, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, buy it all up and control it. That's the whole idea. If you control it, they got to go through you. And let's face it, all that's the company store mentality. We own everything. All the money comes back. It's the old company store. And that's the only way to describe it. Because if you are living on property that is owned by that company, and you shop at stores that is owned by that company, your phone is through that company, you see da 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 da. I mean, all the money they go out, it just comes right back, and they control it. And then they make deals where, and they give you discounts, so it feels like, oh, I'm getting a discount. And so you get, yeah, that's it. Oh, can you imagine the language that comes flying out of my mouth? I think those operators are starting to fear calling me. Yeah, I would like to be a fly on the wall for a minute. Is your small town mostly mom and pop, or do you have? We have it both. We have not right here. I don't have Cracker Barrel near me. I have to drive about 15 minutes away. No Sonny's Barbecue. Do have a Golden Corral, right? I mean, I could be there in 3 minutes. But we have a lot of mom and pops too. Because in general, what I've noticed is mom and pop restaurant, grocery stores, and hardware stores. Well, yeah, they're squeezing them out, man. A big one, the Family Dollars down here are closing. They're getting squeezed out. I know that's not mom and pop, but that market's getting tough, and there's a lot of stuff going out of business. You own nothing, be happy. Eat the bugs. 50-year mortgages, no big deal. Yeah, and it's, we got to, that's why I try to support small business, and that's what we do. And when we do our videos, we go down, and it blows their mind. Sure, everybody wants to make money, but, used to go down to, I go into them and I'll say, can we do a story on you and advertise for your business? And they always got that look like, okay, what do you want? And we say, just the story. We're not asking for money. They're not used to hearing that. Everybody's got their hand out. And we're like, we just want to help. Like Southern Shadows. I said, I don't want your money. In fact, I'm going to spend some money with you. Can we help? We're helping each other. You're helping us with content. We'd love to have you as a guest. Our listeners would love to hear from you. And you see how that's worked out. We have this partnership now. And I definitely want to do that. I love the Crack House cube steak and biscuits for gravy. With pintos and mac and cheese. You're making me hungry. Yeah, dollar stores, Family Dollar here in Florida are getting squeezed out because of big stores like Ollie's Bargain Hut and stores like that sell stuff for super cheap. Yeah. Denny's is closing down. I heard that. Denny's. I like me some Denny's, but I heard they've been shutting them down, or they're shutting them all down. It's all in flux right now. And honestly, when you go to all these stores, it's all the same crapola. A lot, because they're just the same old Chinesium, right? Crapola. And I get sick of it. I just get sick of all that, and I like something unique. But that's why I like, people that, they may sell online, they may set up at festivals or weekend stuff, or they have a little storefront. I try to buy from people like that. Yeah, they're the dog right now. They are everywhere. You can't sneeze and throw the tissue without hitting one. The Dollar General markets, the Dollar General stores. They're everywhere. I have 2 markets within 5 minutes of my house. And then a Dollar General store going the other direction within 2 minutes of 2 minutes probably of my house. If the light don't catch me, I'm there in 2 minutes. And within, 10 to 12 minutes, probably 3 more. They're all right there. I'm surprised Waffle House is less than Lowe's has with that going out of business, because bigger chain restaurants like a Denny's, Cracker Barrel, or Golden Corral has dominated that. Well, those companies actually suffered a little bit. They really have. Their business is still good, but if you'll notice, Waffle House ain't cheap anymore. They're making some money. I went there the other day for my wife and my granddaughter. I just decided to go and get something, and the prices are up. That's the way it is everywhere, I guess. But it was packed out, and it's always busy. They love it. Something in the water. Growing up in Miami, we had a Chuck Wagon. I remember them. Chuck Wagon restaurant. It was breakfast. I'm surprised that it stayed open as long as it has. Then there's a mom and pop because of Denny's, Cracker Barrel, Oregon. Yeah, Denny's. Denny's are closing. Remember the Shoney's? Shoney's used to dominate the market. They're just about all gone. There'll be a number of big chains that will be finished off within the next 6 months. They're upside down. It's not working. The debt is too much. They're not, profit margins not there. They've already cut off as many stores as they can and kept open some things, because you can still find some Shoney's in tourist areas around here, but it won't be long. They are going down. It's just the way it is. And that used to be the restaurant around here in my town. So that's true right there, man. One night our power went out. I got to get off here in a minute. But one night our power went out. And it was out for like 3 hours, middle of summer. So I told my wife, I said, we're sitting in the car with the air on. I said, let's just go get a little something to eat. We'll go to Waffle House. It wasn't crowded. It was about 3 a.m. Oh, there's some guy at the counter, and he's flirting with the one waitress that's on duty. And on his phone, he's playing the most god-awful music as loud as he can, and sitting over there, just doing this the whole time. There's another couple over there. They're having an argument over sitting at one of the booths. There's another dude that looks like he's about, cracked out, sitting at another table, and I think one guy's asleep. And I'm sitting here, and I took it as long as I could. I told my wife, I said, let's go home. Surely to goodness, it's about somebody hit a power pole, knocked out the big transformer or something. We got home, it was still off, but about 35, 40 minutes later, it came on. I was like, I can't handle it no more. I was about ready to take that guy's phone and shove it where the sun don't shine. I can tell you that. I had just about reached, and and that's not the guy I am, but I had reached my limits, Dave's limits. I was ready to just, say either shut it off or you're going to lose it, dude. I was watching a comedian. He said it was the saddest day when they banned smoking inside buildings because they felt that the taste of cigarettes was part of the recipe for their waffles. You come in a restaurant, the smoke cloud is just drifting along. Oh, man. Remember when Cracker Barrel had the smoking side and the non-smoking side? That didn't work. You got that little bit of, what do they call that? I don't know what they call that wall. They had all the holes in it. The smoke came through. Smoking or non-smoking? My God, it doesn't matter where I sit. I'm going to smell the smoke. So take your choice. It really doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. You have the lady out there cleaning them out. She had the little thing with water because she had to get all that tar and everything. Those are the days, right? You walk in a Crystal, just guys smoking in there, 3 o'clock in the morning, burning down, coming home from the bar, getting their Crystal fix. Oh, man. I used to go to places like that, light the cigar, drive the cigarette smokers crazy. I mean, they thought they had some smoke. We puff on them cigars. They'd be like, oh, God, man. The world was a funner place in the days gone by. Honestly, they were. We had some things we probably shouldn't have been doing. I'm certain we did. But it was a funner place. It was a lot funner. Now it just feels like the camera eyes on you, but always. What are you doing? You're having fun? We got to put a stop to that. That's the way it feels. The fun police. Oh, we got some Americans over here having fun? Oh, no, we'll put a stop to that. They were tin and Hardee's with Hardee's logo or Mickey D's pressed in them. I would get them and use my thumb to smooth. Oh, y'all are funny. Y'all are so funny. I love it. I wish I could stay here another hour. I do got to go to work, and I got to get moving. I got to be at a certain place. Got to get the one. I think there's got one kid to drop off at the school today. I think the rest are staying out when I'm at a birthday. We'll be back on tonight. Probably, I know for Front Porch, but I'm sure there'll be another show or two. I'm still catching up a little bit. We'll have some fun tonight. We'll do something. Steve will have Hammered on a Friday night, I'm sure. He'll get hammered. Y'all watch Steve Celtic Blacksmith, Half Pine Forge and Half Pine Forge Live. He's got a new giveaway going on. Jake was in here. Jake's all over the place. I couldn't even keep up with him. Y'all just find Jake wherever he's at and watch him. Support him. He's a good dude. And all the other many, many great podcasters. It's a fun family to be a part of. Happy Friday. Have a great time. I'll be back on this evening. I think hopefully going to get off early today. And we may get on with something else. We got guests coming up on some shows. I've got a gospel country duo coming up. They're going to be in studio with me, in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Monday, I believe it is. And or maybe it's 3 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. But Half Pint Forged Hammered, yeah. Well, he don't get hammered anymore that way. But and he's not really a half pint, although I love that. Well, I probably was all over my words this morning. Trying to, I'll think one thing, say another. Steve's got to go to work. He's probably already there. Y'all have a great day. Take care. God bless. All those good things. And I had a lot of fun this morning. Y'all pray for Rob as he travels across the barren landscape of South Georgia, flatlands, wherever he's going. I don't think Albany or something. I'm not real sure. But we'll see you. We'll see you soon. And take care.